Greetings, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to episode 29 of the 30 most important albums in the history of hard rock and heavy metal. That's right, day 29. One more to go after today. Then I'll give you some honorable mentions as well. So, the 30 most important albums in the history of hard rock and metal, as determined by moi, okay, by me. For those of you who keep asking, but there's other albums that are more important. Well, there might be, but there's no definitive list. Everybody who makes a list like this, it's up to them, right? These are mine. So today, another band that's been asked for many times. A lot of people commenting they can't wait till this band shows up on my list. They kind of had to. This album, again, got a couple from them you could probably pick. I decided to go with this one, which is their sixth studio album, released February 25th, 1992, for the Atco label, produced by Terry Date. I'm talking about Vulgar Display of Power from Pantera. So many classics on this album. It's also their best-selling album with sales of over 2 million copies. This has a lot of life to it over the years. It's been hailed on many top lists of best heavy metal albums of all time, so on and so forth. This was kind of a game changer. Cowboys from Hell is the one that really set the stage. That was kind of their breakthrough album after a handful of albums that they did with little to no exposure, still trying to find their sound, and then Cowboys from Hell comes out. All of a sudden, everybody's like, "Whoa, who is this brand new band?" Well, they actually had been around for a couple of years, actually more than a couple of years before that. But it was with Cowboys from Hell, and then certainly on Vulgar Display of Power, that the band really found their sound. Whether you call them thrash or groove metal, they got bits of hardcore, they got bits of old school metal. I mean, kind of like this mishmash of styles. But for the early '90s, pretty different and pretty heavy, and going against the grain of what everybody else was doing at the time. Because, right in the early 90s, of course, grunge and alternative rock exploding all over the place. Heavy metal bands of the 80s, right? The more commercial stuff, the classic metal stuff, they're all kind of going in the underground trying to figure out what to do. Some of them saying, hey, let's jump on the grunge bandwagon or the alternative rock bandwagon. Let's try and do stuff like that. In many instances with not good success. But Pantera, like, you know what? We're going to make music heavier and more obnoxious than anything that was selling during the 80s. Take elements of thrash and some of the extreme stuff that was just really starting to come of age and just kind of do our own thing. And that's what they did. And this album is just jam-packed with classics. Of course, Phil Anselmo on vocals, Dimebag Darrell Abbott on guitars, otherwise known as Diamond Darrell. The Dimebag himself. We got Rex Brown on bass and Vinnie Paul on drums. Of course, Vinnie and Dime, both brothers. And like I said, Terry Date producing this album. So, classics here. Mouth for War. The songs are either just raucous and pile driving, or just absolute slaying groove monsters with just riffs that just never end. A New Level, Walk, one of their classic songs, right? Fucking Hostile, just raging crazy song. This Love, another one of their more memorable tracks that's kind of starts out kind of mellow and creepy, and then just hit you like a sledgehammer, right? You got Rise, No Good, Attack the Radical, Live in a Hole, Regular People, By Demons, just amazing song. I think Dimebag was one of the great creators of just ultra heavy crushing riffs that ever was. Really good soloist too, but for me, I always loved him more for his riffs. What else? You got Hollow to finish it all off, another great song. So many classics on here. You could, like I said, you could pick literally. I almost went with Far Beyond Driven, which is another massive album from them that has tracks like Becoming and 5 Minutes Alone and I'm Broken, which is some of my favorite songs from their catalog. You could have gone with Cowboys from Hell. You could have gone with, Southern Trend Killer, Reinventing the Steel. Doesn't really matter. I ultimately, this, to me is, I think, the one that just made them absolute superstars. And it's my pick for a reason. So, yeah. And that album cover. I mean, does it get much more metal than that, right? Punch you in the face and smash it 9 times out of 10. Vulgar Display of Power. Pantera. I was going to say Santera. Santera? Have I been listening to Santana lately? Santana and Pantera. Santana and Pantera had a baby. How would that sound, right? Geez, that's kind of weird. Anyway, I'm in another planet today, guys. Don't mind me. I'm still kind of recovering from Turkey Day hangover. I got my booster shot yesterday, so I'm a little sore and stuff today. So yeah, but I got a day off, which is cool. So anyway. And of course, I divulge when I actually recorded this because it's Monday morning as far as you guys are concerned. So yeah, I actually recorded this on Sunday. So just so you know, that's generally how it works here, right? We don't always record stuff the day or the exact time that you see it, because that's what happens when you're running a channel, right? A channel with lots of cool programming. You gotta record stuff when you can. Boop boop boop. Slot it in. Speaking of slots, tomorrow, day 30. Our final episode, as well as we're going to get a honorable mentions episode as well. But tomorrow's the final pick, the slot number 30. Stay tuned for that. Visit us on the web at www.catranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. Thanks for watching, everybody. Pantera Day here today. List your comments down below. Give some love for the mighty Pantera, and we'll see you tomorrow for the finale. I am Pete Pardo. Have a good one. Bye-bye.